Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing coming to you with another quick tutorial. This is another kind of card maker fold that's creating a really fun writing space that's fairly large. So what I have, I forgot to grab my image. Hold on. This is the image that we're going to be using today. We are working on the autumn journals. We're making two different kinds. We're making one that's more fallish with some oranges and some pinks. I like that autumn blush kind of look when I'm working with autumn projects. So we're going to be using this. This is from Wild Rose Boho. Everything will be linked so there's so many kits. I'm using 8 kits just from Wild Rose Boho in these projects. So I decided that I would just put a link to there's always a link to the blog in the video description box, but this time I'm not putting any links in the description box or on social media because there's just going to be too many. So just know that you can automatically click on the link to the blog, and that's the current blog project that we're working on, and you can see all the links there. If I add something that wasn't there before, I will put new in all caps with asterisks so that you can see that it's something maybe that you perhaps have not looked at yet. So this is the paper we're going to be working with. We've got this side, and then this is an image background paper from Riley B Graphics. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So I watched a video. Patty Dolan, I believe is her name. She's a card maker. And so I did make one using her dimensions exactly, where the base is 6 3/4 by 8, scored at 2 3/4 on 2 sides. So top and then the long side. I didn't like the size. It feels really small for what I want it to be. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4, which is a standard card size. So I did make one this size, and I'll show you what that looked like. But I played around with the dimensions, and I was able to create one that is using a base of 6 3/4 by 10, scored at 3 inches on 2 sides. So it scored 3 inches here and then 3 inches here. So we're going to go ahead and make one of these. Now, the only thing is because I altered, this also has that. See how this has this space here that is open that you would be able to potentially see your writing if you're using this for a writing space. I've created less of that because mine is taller. Okay. So I'm just going to leave that there for now while I talk to you about these. So this was the small one. Now I am using my 67-pound linen paper, and it is a little bit fragile. So I've got a little chip out of that I need to remedy. But I created with a belly band so that when you use this in your journal, you just put glue on the back of this, attach it to your journal page wherever you want it to be, and then your writing space just tucks in there really nice. I like to slide it from the top because so you slide it this way if it was already attached, because it doesn't have to go over this fold the wrong way. So, and then you can kind of position it however you want. So that's the only one I made in that size because it was not preferred. This is one I made using the using papers from Wild Rose Boho, and this is another image. I just cut a circle out of it, and then so, and it's got this kind of deep coffee dyed paper in the back, on the back. So that's another one. And then we've got this one. This is, I forgot to mention, these are from Scrimping Mommy. This is her soft autumn kit. I'm working with that. So, and I've got a coordinating kit from another seller. I actually reached out to her because there's no ephemera in the kit at all. And so I reached out to her and I just asked the question, like, is there a reason why you don't create ephemera with you? And she's like, well, there's one bonus page. Well, one bonus page with a tag and whatever is not enough when you're making a journal, right? So she did reach out to me and she said that she'd create an ephemera kit. So I'm waiting for that to manifest, and hopefully that can happen, and then I'll add that. I'll purchase that and then add it to our stuff, because I basically had to go out to Etsy and I had to purchase a fussy cut pages for this kind of theme from Pink Monarch Prints. I also had autumn afternoon that I had already had from my porch prints that I have not used yet, that I bought 2 years ago. So I did pull some of those fussy cuts, because we need those to do stuff like this. It just makes it a lot easier. So this is another one where I use just tea stain paper front and back. So you could journal over this whole thing on all sides. So this one, let me show you what it looks like in size, because it is much taller. So it's almost like a legal size, not quite wide enough. It's what is that? 6 3/4 inches wide. So, but it's really nice writing space. So I don't know that I would write on the front of this, so I'm probably going to always do pattern paper on the front side, but that is totally up to you. And then as usual, the links for all of the words and quotes that I picked up for this project will be linked over on the blog. And this is the last one. This is from Wild Rose Boho. It is the Pumpkin Spice Kit. I absolutely love this. This is the one I'm drawn to the most. Really pretty. Same dimensions as that one. Okay, but before we get going to the project, I wanted to talk with you. I've been MIA. So this is Saturday night. I sat down to do this video earlier today. I did it twice, and I could not think. Like, I couldn't even think to show you how to do those folds, even though I had done all those off camera. So I went and vegged out, watched some TV, which I don't normally do. I do not watch TV for any length of time, but that's what I did all day long. My windows are all taped up, which is not helping my day. My husband's out spraying the house with another coat of paint, just freshening up the paint job. And so all the windows, other than the windows facing the back of the house, those are still open, but all the places I spend my time, which is the studio and the living room and our bedroom, they're all taped up. So it's been really tough. So, and just in general, the season is difficult. So for those of you who don't follow me, you can skip ahead if you want to get to the project. But many of the people that watch me all the time have a great deal of compassion. We have a lot of compassion for one another. And so I struggle with this season. I struggle with fall. It's the hardest season of the year for me, just due to childhood trauma. And so I was like, I'm struggling in this creative effort, like really struggling. I put a pause on all video making. I didn't put up a video on Friday, and gave myself that little bit of room to just take care of myself. But I thought, I went out to Etsy, and I was looking for some autumn fussy cuts, and I found this kit. Oh, let me make sure I got all the beautiful pages here. This kit. Fairies with sunflowers. Like, how can you go wrong? So I am going to make a 2 signature journal with this kit. And there'll probably be 3 videos in the series. It's going to be basic decorating. There's no ephemera with this kit, so I'll have to print multiple pages to a page to get smaller images to make my ephemera. But I'm good with that. So look at these images. Look at that. It just makes me happy. It just makes me happy. I love fairies. I love fairies. But look at this image. It's just so sweet. And those translucent wings are just, oh, I don't care for this spread at all. So I might not even use it. Because I almost feel like this is like a spell over here, and I don't do that. But I just love this. And I have, there were years ago, I really struggled with the whole concept of fairies, but I've really prayed through that, and I feel like it is okay, and I know what it means to me. And so that's the way that I use it, and that's the way that I see it. So it's a healing thing for me. And I just love this one, and this kind of is how I feel right now. I feel like just sinking in somewhere where I can just rest, where I can just have my soul soothed. So I've been listening to worship, and I've been, again, just removing the expectations. I did obviously have to continue to go to work. School is very hard this year. I work in special education, and it's tough. So, and then look at that image. I love that. Oh, it's so magical. this, and the watercolor look here is just really beautiful. A little fairy house here. Lots of fairy houses, which I really love. My outdoor studio is just an old chicken coop that my husband rebuilt, and we call that whole area over there Who Hollow. It's underneath the cedar trees, and it's really just really magical. And then this one is another lovely one. So this is what we're going to be making, okay? And then another house. And then I just love this like a little caravan vehicle carriage. And look at her. Is she just not the sweetest? She will definitely be on the cover of the journal. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I picked up 2 more kits from Riley B Graphics. As you guys know, if you follow me, I love her background pages because I can get any color scheme I want. And so we're going to be using both of these as well for backing these, as well as for additional filler in the journal. Okay, so thank you for indulging me and letting me share that. So let me get my paper over here. I didn't trim it before I started. I did have a fail using this paper off camera, so I already have my belly band, but I'll show you how we make one. Okay, so I didn't want to throw this away, so it's the same paper. So I'm going to bring the cutter over here. You need limited supplies, ink if you like to ink, and I use glue to make the ephemera bit on top of the belly band. So let me just trim these white parts off, and I'll be right back. There we go. Oh, I've got a little bit more white. Let me trim that up a little bit more. My printer doesn't feed my paper in straight all the time, so it can be a problem, and that's always getting stuck. Oh, this is a new trimmer to me, so I'm still getting used to it. But there, we should be good enough. Okay, so now we want to cut this down to 6 3/4 by, whoops, that's the wrong one, 6 3/4 by 10. So I like to look at this side and see what I'm willing to sacrifice. I want to sacrifice on this end. So I'm going to line this up to the 10 inch mark there. And go ahead and I apologize, I know it's dark. It feels dark when I look in the monitor. It's all this natural light is blocked, so nothing I can do about that. It's not dark out, it's the early evenings, 7 o'clock. So 6 3/4 is our next cut. So I want to retain these peachy pinks up here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off of this side. Okay, so there you go. And now we're going to turn this, and we're going to score this at 3 inches. Okay, so I'm going to just line that up and score at 3 inches. And I am using the 67-pound paper because this is really hard to not bulk up. That's 65-pound. This is the 67-pound linen paper that I've talked about before. It doesn't feel like 65 pounds, but it is definitely, it has a different composition. It's soft, the paper's softer, so it folds differently. So I'm lined up on that 3 inch mark, and I'm going to score again. And then we're done with that, I believe, for this project. So I'm going to turn it over just so you can see those score lines a little bit, maybe. And I'm going to go ahead and score. And Shelly, I've misplaced the bone folder that you sent me. I think it's, I'm going to look for it. I think it's in my, I have a calyx unit behind me, and I have one of the canvas bins that holds all my discarded stuff. And I think I just need to, before I throw that in the big bin outside, I'll go through it. I'm pretty sure it's in there. Probably scooped it up when I was cleaning up paper, so. Because when I do these templates, I go through quite a bit of paper. So when I'm experimenting. Okay, so there we go. So now we want this to be, we want this to obviously be on the outside. So what we're going to do is you want your corner that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's the piece that you're going to fold. So you want to fold this down and line up this this score line with this line. Okay, so I'm gonna just do my best to line it up there first, and then go over here and see if I can find it. So we're too far there and there. Oh boy, we're having trouble here. It's kind of hard to see. I know it's hard for you guys. I'll show you again on the white paper. So let me just get that situated a little bit better. Okay. Let me just turn this so I can see, am I on that line? I maybe should have inked it, but I'm resistant to ink because then you don't want to ink this paper because it's your writing space, in my opinion anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and give that a crease and hope that I got that right. Did I? Yeah, it looks pretty okay. I'm going to fix that a little bit and fix that a little bit. Okay. Just burnish that one more time. Okay. So there, you've got that fold. Okay. So then to fold this, this needs to be burnished out. So your little square you want burnished out so that it's the other way. I don't know how to explain that. And then the only way I could figure out how to do this is to go on that other slanted fold that we just made. Go ahead and burnish that up so it's popped up like that. And then you're just going to push these together, okay? And then that's naturally going to come down because I really struggle with these folds and getting them to do what I want them to do because my brain doesn't think that way. So that was the best way I could do it, is go, this is pointed up, this whole section, and then just push those together, just make them kiss in the middle. And then I was successful even on camera. I did 2 videos earlier and it was a mess, and I just had to go leave the studio and veg out. So I wanted to show you that again here. So this is our paper again. We scored it here and here at 3 inches. So 3 inches and 3 inches. And then we folded this down, okay? So we folded this down and we met this line with this line, okay? Can you see that scoring mark? So you're lining those up, and then you're also lining it up on this line. And then you're just popping this up so that that new line that's going across is up, and you just, and then those are down. So that's already been trained. And then you just kiss these together and push it down and then burnish, and then you're golden, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to ink. So I don't want everything inked. So when I ink the inside, I'm only inking around the edges. But when I ink this side, I'm going to ink most everything. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed this up, and I'll be right back. This paper is a little bit, it's flimsier, so it's harder for me to get it all inked up. So yeah, so just do the best you can. It's kind of flimsy. I am a little spoiled. I like my 65-pound paper that behaves better when I'm inking so many edges. So, but you don't want to ink this edge. So this is our inside. I don't want to ink that. I'm just folded that back just for a little bit more stability, but inking around the outside edges is nice. I have to be careful with this paper though, because it tends to want to tear. It's got a lot of soft paper fiber, which is very different. Okay, so let's see if we got everything that we wanted. So you could also ink this. Let's go ahead and ink it just so you can see it. It doesn't really matter. And then you could also ink this edge. That's our other angle, and that looks to be it. So that's what you should look like. Okay, you've got your 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 section. This is bigger, and that's because I resized it. So I will link her video down below though, so you guys can check her out. So we're back to this. We're back to this. Oh, where's our other? Oh, it's right here. We should probably ink that. Let's ink that so you can see that whole line. I'm so sorry I didn't catch that. I missed that fold in looking at this. So that's what you've got. Okay. So again, you're going to push these up and you're going to train this back so that it's popped up. This is down, and then you're just going to, or this is up, excuse me. This is up. Oh, I'm backwards. What did I do? What did I do? Don't do it again, Cara-Renee. Oh, it's so hard for my brain. I don't know if it's just the way that I think, and it just doesn't work. Like, I am so incredibly directionally challenged. I could get lost in a paper bag, as they say. So, and it's true. So this is the element that I created, and I wanted to bring in the oranges, but I also wanted to bring in the pinks. So when you slide your belly band on, which I'll show you how to make one in case you haven't done that before, but this is going, oh, this is bigger. It's tighter, so something must be a little bit different here. So we may have to make one. Oh, I guess it's okay. It's a little bit tight though, and you really don't want to force it. So let's just make one together, okay? I've got another piece here, so we'll just have to get another. I wonder if we could reuse this fussy cut. Probably not. Let's see if we can. I don't want to waste it. Let's see if we can. We can. Look at that. It pulled off. We're going to use that again. Okay. So what I do is I kind of like to decide what I want to see. So I think I want to do that. So I'm going to just turn this over, and I'm going to do a soft press here, just to get that, that mark on the side, and then put this back in here, and then do another soft press, but leaving a little bit more room. That was a little bit tight. Okay. So we're going to just give that a soft push there, and then remove this so that I can line it up to make sure that it is going to be straight-ish. Okay, like that. And then you can cut off the excess, because obviously that's way too much. We only need that much. So it looks like it's not cut exactly straight. I'm going to go in a little bit there. You're not going to see the back side, so you don't even have to ink it, but this is not straight, I can tell right now. So let's see if we can straighten that out. I'm going to bring this over and give it a whirl. So let's just go ahead and stick this in here and see. I'm not sure what happened because it was cut with the trimmer, so we're just going to cut it down a little bit. Not a problem. Okay, that looks better. And so I'm going to only ink around the outside of the front of this. And then I don't know, I think my words in here. They are. I have a bunch of fussy cutting going on, so some of it's in here, some of it's in the living room, which I haven't done any recently. So then you can go ahead and glue this shut. So you don't need that much, but we're just going to go ahead and let it be. It's just extra stability, in my opinion. Just put a bunch of glue there, and there we go. And then when I had it on the other piece, I want to see that scrolly bit. So we can kind of follow what we already did. See that? We've already got our glue lines as well. So when I do this, if we were using this brand new, I would turn this over and make a pencil mark on the top and bottom so that I would be, this is thinner, so that's kind of problematic. But you're not going to see the back side, so I'm not going to worry about it because I had to shave this down to get it even. So that's fine. Not what I would prefer, but then you've got a glue line, so then you know you want to keep your glue. Well, that's not going to work because I need new glue lines now. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, let me just look. Maybe we should just get a new one. Let me pull these out and show you what we got. Okay, so these are the fussy cuts from Pink Monarch Prints. So I printed 2 to a page here, and then this is the full size. So there's nothing that strikes me in these ones that fits this particular project, but I thought they would work well for other things. So these are the ones from My Porch Prints. I'm not leaning towards the ones with a lot of orange, but I just printed everything anyway. And what do we have here? I'll just keep that in my view here. I want to reuse that one or something similar. So these are all My Porch Prints. These are also really pretty, even though they've got a bit of orange. But let's see if we can find the page that I used. There it is. So do we have one that will work? I think so. I think we can go ahead and use, let's just use that one. So I'm going to take a moment and fussy cut this because it is not easy. It's because it's kind of small-ish, and I'll be right back. I don't get too particular when I do this. I think that My Porch Prints creates their fussy cuts to be cut out on the Cricut. I do not have a Cricut. I've had them before, and they have not worked in the past for me because they are cloud-based and my internet was really terrible. They'd probably work now because I'm on Starlink, but I can't justify doing it again. And I don't mind fussy cutting, so I just kind of do a rough bit here, and any white that's left I just ink. I don't worry about it. But they do provide that night, and they do all their fussy cutting on their Cricut, so that's why they look like this. So let's go ahead and ink this up. So it's, oh wait, I gotta get this part though. I don't want like big bits of white that are around the outside. That's the only thing. But the ink does really help because you can kind of get it in there and soften that white so it's not so stark, but it works. So there we go. And let's go ahead. Yeah, that looks good. So we've got all those that white bit pushed back. So I'm going to put this on here, right here. It's a little bit bigger than the other one, but that's okay. We can kind of, I really like that, just that direction right there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over just so I can show you that process. So, and typically I would print on the back of these too, but I'm not in a good brain space. So what did I do with my pencil? It might have gotten, oh, there it is. Here we go. And I make a pencil line on both sides of that so that I just can tell where my glue needs to go. Okay. And then I don't have to worry. And I do use my Fabri-Tac so I can move it around, and you don't need a ton of glue. This is a little bit bigger than I'd like for this size belly band, but it'll work. Okay. So now I'm not going to get any glue anywhere else, which is the goal. And then just make sure it's going in the right direction again. And I just kind of place it down there quickly. Oh, that was not bad. And then just switch it or scooch it around until it's lined up pretty much with those pencil marks. I usually come back and erase those after the glue is dry. So then that can just go right on here. And again, you want to have it be not too tight. So that seems to be pretty, oh, that is tight. Nope, it's okay. So look at that. It's just enough of a little bit of decoration. I'm going to grab the words too if they're in here. I don't know if they are. There is some. They're not what the ones I was looking for, but let's see. Nope, that's spring. They must be out in the living room, guys. I'm gonna forego that today, but I'll put a little autumn word there as well. But that is our project for today. I'm just going to do one because I don't trust myself to do more. Keep it nice and simple. But again, this would get glued right to your journal page. And then once it's adhered, you can just slide this out. Okay, just slide it out. Take it out, write on it, and put it back. You could also put a little bit of decoration somewhere else on it, but I think it's just fine. It's very simple. And easy to make, and I think very functional because you get all that inside writing space. And again, as I mentioned before, if you used just a tea stain or coffee stain paper, you could write on the whole thing as I showed you before. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you for coming by, and thank you for being patient with me. Those of you who are watching and know, you're part of the group and all of that stuff. I just really appreciate the grace. And I appreciate Miss Shelley for encouraging people to go back and watch some of my older stuff while I was getting back in the saddle again, so to speak. Our combination of kiddos this year has been really challenging, and our weather has been very, very hot. It's very humid, which is not normal for us during this season. Usually we have really, as the season changes, it's really crisp air and it's really stifling, and our bodies are working very hard to keep our students safe because they're all severely autistic. Most of them are severely autistic. And so it's very exhausting. And after being off for the summer, it was quite a shock this year for some reason. I don't know if it's because I'm a little older, but I came home every night this week and just pretty much collapsed, just no energy and no, I come home and cry because I'm just so tired. And so I'm hoping that as I get into the routine, it will get better. But again, thank you guys so much. We are nearing 7,000 subscribers. I'm going to come up with some kind of a giveaway, but I'll let you know that as we move forward. So and for the person who purchased the beach journal, you know who you are. I thank you so much for your grace and allowing me a little bit of time to get that out to you. I really, really appreciate the humanity in that gesture. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.